The hypocrisy of eulogizing and idolizing Charlie Kirk as a political martyr and political hero is staggering. The depth of gaslighting, untruths, the shameful opportunistic politicization of his assassination is a clear attempt to rewrite his history. Now, we know exactly who Charlie Kirk was, and there's no way on God's earth we're going to let you tell us what he was not. Charlie Kirk's legacy is a legacy of hate. He was a racist, white nationalist, white supremacist, anti-Muslim, Islamophobic, transphobic, Zionist bigot. And whatever my view of him is, doesn't change the fact that I find his assassination absolutely wrong. Multiple truths can coexist. First off, these hypocrites, his supporters, are manufacturing a crisis of war and using him as their symbol to go fight. Fight what exactly? Let me just say with my full chest that I am glad that it's not a black or immigrant that killed Charlie Kirk. Because it is a white person that killed him. You know that, right? If it had been a black or immigrant, that information would have leaked out a long time ago. And this whole apparatus of hate would have been targeted against the people who Charlie Kirk has spent his entire existence targeting. Let not the irony be lost on you that the same Charlie Kirk that pathologized black people as criminals and went on and on about black on black crime is now the face and symbol of white on white crime, which we all know is far worse than black on black crime. These same hypocrites tell us there is no place for political violence. I agree. But Charlie Kirk was politically violent. His language was politically violent. He supported gun violence and opposed gun control. The same person who said it is right for there to be a cost of gun deaths every year so that we can have the right to arms has now become the cost of gun violence he wanted other people to pay the price for. No political violence, you say, when Charlie Kirk endorsed and manufactured consent for Israel's genocide and political violence, crimes against humanity, against Palestinians every single day. These God-forsaken freedom of speech hypocrites are now hunting down people who are exercising their freedom of speech to either celebrate or quite frankly say they don't give a rat's ass that Charlie Kirk is dead. And these hypocrites are like, how dare you? You must lose your job and you must be punished. And I'm like, These hypocrites must be mad to demand that people extend humanity to Charlie Kirk, who never extended an ounce of humanity to people he targeted. So it is freedom of speech when Charlie Kirk said black people were better off during slavery, that black women lack processing skills, are only good at taking white people's slots. When he compared gay to drug addiction, called trans abomination, spewed anti-Muslim and Islamophobic hate, pushed white supremacist agenda against black and brown people, pushed white nationalist agenda against immigrants.
Charlie Kirk's death has brought so much mixed emotions. Some people are supporting his death. Some are celebrating. It actually breaks my heart. I do not condone and I do not support violence. Whatever Charlie Kirk stood for, that was for him. As much as so many people did not support, still breaks my heart. But I just want us to watch these videos, then you tell me where do you stand or what do you think? Are these people, all these people's reactions like legit, worth it, or people are just being in their feelings?
Black people, why are y'all celebrating? Like y'all better than that. Y'all really on the internet and happy that this man got shot unalive in front of everybody. I mean everybody. All because y'all don't like his opinions. Now, I'm not riding with Charlie Kirk, right? But the nigga gone already, right? He gone. But my thing is this. Stop asking people questions and you not ready for the answer. Because if you just look back at it, he was only answering the questions that y'all asked him and just gave his opinion. Y'all got to realize that everybody ain't gonna agree. You got to agree to disagree. That's fucking life. Now, however, I went back and watched some of his clips when he was speaking on black people and the violence that come with black people. I saw that as well. But shit, look at it from this view. He got unalive from one of his own kind. Okay, that right there should prove a point. Black people ain't the only people that's violence amongst each other. What happened today to Charlie Kirk proved that. Just like I said on my backup channel, that's why a lot of this shit I don't speak up on. Because I don't want to be educated when it comes to shit like this. All this political shit, you will never see me talk about. Because I'm just not into it. At the end of the day, we all gotta live our own lives. Let's just be real. Now, for the people that look like me, black people, God did his work. It's over with. Let it go. Move on.
With Charlie Kirk passing today, I would like to send a message to my fellow Christians. First of all, my hearts and prayers go out to his family and his children. Even if we have different beliefs, nobody deserves to end their life in that way, publicly and in front of his children. So may he rest in peace. The message to my fellow Christians is, I really hope that we're not going to take Charlie Kirk and call him a martyr on behalf of Christians. Because as a Christian woman myself, I cannot say that Charlie Kirk was a martyr to Christians. The message he gave that to the world while he was alive was not of that of Christian beliefs, but in support and idolizing President Trump. Because if we're going to call somebody a martyr on behalf of Christianity and on behalf of our God, I believe that it would have to be someone who is trying to emulate the life of Jesus. Because that was left to us, that we are to live life like Jesus. And I don't believe that Jesus would have lived his life doing what he did in the way that he did it. Christianity isn't about going to places and trying to argue their statement on why they think that what they're believing is incorrect, but to spread the gospel and the word of why we were saved by Jesus Christ by dying on the cross for us and why he forgave us. Going around and rebuking people and condemning them because their beliefs do not align with your Christian faith is not how the gospel is spread. And as Christians, we need to be more wary of the things that they just slap a Christian sticker on it does not make it right with God. We have to be better at making better judgments ourselves and truly wanting to see what God's purpose is. Because the God that I know does not spread the gospel through hate by judging people and by telling them that how they're living their life is wrong. Because what I believe is we just have to spread the good news about Jesus Christ and how he saved us from our sins because we are sinners. You and I are no different from the different sinners in this world, no matter what the sin is. Is it you that need to throw that first stone to others? And no, it's not. Jesus stood in front of that woman by the well and said, anyone who believes that they have never sinned in their entire life to throw that stone. And when Jesus said that, no one threw a single stone because we are all sinners. No sin is greater than any other sin. Times like these, as Christians, we need to truly reflect on ourselves and the foundation of where our faith is with God. Our faith and our belief in God is not ourselves. We are not the center of our faith and what we believe in Jesus Christ. So if you are here questioning where I stand with you, I stand with you. No matter who you are, where you're from, what color you are, whatever it is that you identify as, I love you because Jesus loves you too. And that's it. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a great night. Bye.
It's so interesting to me how when certain people lose their lives in this country, the first thing that the media starts to do is show us positive pictures of them and their family and remind us that they have a family. But you know who else had a family? This teacher and this student who lost their lives to gun violence last year in a school shooting in Wisconsin. Because people like Charlie Kirk felt like it was worth the risk for people to still be able to bear arms in this country. George Floyd also had a family, and Charlie Kirk did not care about him or his family, nor were people plastering the internet with images of him and his family. Instead, this is what people like Charlie Kirk had to say about George Floyd.
Died largely because of a drug overdose.
But he had his knee on his neck. And we all saw the video.
But the knee on the neck is actually an approved police technique that police departments taught Derek Chauvin to use. Do you know that George Floyd was saying, I couldn't breathe, well before that restraining technique? And
so why'd they use the technique if he already couldn't breathe?
Well, because he was actually resisting arrest, and they had to restrain him. And they restrained him in a way that they were taught to do, which is the knee on the neck technique.
Okay, so when does the technique end? Like when they die? Like he said he couldn't breathe.
No, I mean the technique ends when the individual stops resisting arrest.
So why is it that people think that we shouldn't talk about all the bad that he's done in the world and all of the harmful things he said about marginalized groups simply because he has a family? Yes, I'm sure his family is watching, as are all the other families who are a part of marginalized groups or who have been impacted by gun violence. But the difference here is, now that he lost his life, they want to feed us positive images of him and force people to stop talking about the negative that he's done in the world. And that's just not how life works.
I just watched a video of Charlie Kirk getting shot. There's no way he survived. There's a 0% chance. It kind of looks like I only watched it one time. And I only want to see it one time. It is brutal. And I'm so sad for his family. I am so sad for his children having to see their father die that way. And I am so disappointed. It looks like the shot entered through his chest and possibly exited through his throat. And there is 0% chance that he is alive. 0. And anybody that's happy about this, you are a giant fucking piece of shit. You are absolutely what is wrong with America right now. We are never going to recover from this. Ever. As a country, we are never recovering from this. And I am so angry. I am so fucking angry right now because I know what this means. Everything that this channel has been fighting for, a free democracy, it's done. In politics, you fight with words and ideas. And that age is over. That's all I got.
The FBI has made statements that they believe that they found the person that was responsible for this heinous crime, this assassination of a good man. And the FBI has made mention, and I'll let him say it out of his own words, that they were able to track the person onto the campus, onto the roof, off the roof, into the community. They were able to find a weapon with indicia of violent script on the weapon, on the ammunition, pertaining to anti-trans and fascist or anti-fascist, quote unquote, statements. And I'll let the FBI director or the FBI Salt Lake division director take it away. Roll the clip.
So the headline came at the end there, Dana. We have images of the suspect. That after they gave us a number of details that we were not privy to prior. So they say a number of individuals questioned, they've been released, they asked for privacy for them. At 11:52 a.m. Utah time, they tracked the suspect to that building. They later, after the shooting, tracked him jumping off the building, fleeing into a neighborhood. And they're asking neighbors in that area if they have doorbell cameras to turn over anything that may produce an image. What they didn't say is whether or not he ran there on foot or drove a car. But later they said, we do have good video of this individual. We are confident in our abilities. And with regard to that, they say they have footwear prints. So perhaps he was on foot, and also palm prints. And they asked for any video and images tipped to the website there. This is a bolt-action rifle. It is manually operated. It is extremely accurate. And according to a lot of gun experts, it has fewer moving parts, which would give the killer an opportunity to take a more accurate shot. And based on the graphic images that the world saw yesterday afternoon, that shot was a kill shot. It took one, and Charlie Kirk barely had a chance of survival.
So with that being said, obviously this wasn't the FBI Salt Lake guy, but pretty much what the Fox News host said was exactly what the FBI person said. Let's put the picture of the suspect here in case you know the suspect or you can identify his mannerisms. I mean, because many times when a person who don't know this person see this, they like, how do you know? They got sunglasses on, whatever. People know this person. You've seen him, you know him. Somebody saw him on that day with that same shirt, or whenever this was captured, somebody seen him. You can see that a person walking down the stairs with a white shirt to your right, I mean, with the picture to your left, but on the right side of that picture you can see a white shirt. So somebody's passing this guy as he's coming up the stairs. So people have seen him. People know him. Somebody that know him and see him. At first, I told you to send it to me because I'd love to go to Salt Lake and take care of this, but I want to do the right thing and what would Charlie want me to do? Notify the Salt Lake or your local FBI office. The Salt Lake office is the one that's handling this investigation. If you know it, inform them first. If you somehow don't know how to inform them, call the local law enforcement or call the FBI office in your local city. They can disseminate the information across. But when somebody identify this guy, send the information in so he can go to jail. And also, there's a $100,000 reward that the White House has put out on persons who give information that lead to his arrest. There's a lot of rumors out here. There's a lot of speculation out here that I want to dismantle. And, well, I'm going to say I want to give my opinion on, because I don't really know for a fact. Some people that think that this guy was an amateur, it's not true. I do also believe that this guy wasn't a professional hitman. So that's also, I don't think it's true that this guy was some hit professional Mossad agent or something. And some people blaming the Jews. I saw people blaming Jews for this. But what I will say is that looking at the footage, the bolt action rifle, and I was on a tactical SWAT team, but I'm not a marksman. But I know for a fact the amateur person is not going to make that shot. There's too many components to go into that. You have to zero the rifle. You have to, at 200 yards, you have to factor for wind. If you have to have your ammo right. You have to have your breathing right. You have to have trigger pull. A random person can't get on there because they saw it on TV or they just thought and they bought a bolt action rifle. You gotta, they had multiple ammunition. You gotta know how to use the bolt action. It's a little more to it. And I just don't understand how somebody would say, oh, just some random amateur did this. I just don't believe that. You know, I was on a SWAT team, but before I left the SWAT team, I was interested in being a SWAT sniper. Brother, the trigger pull alone is something you have to train in order for you to make a good shot like that. And when I say good, I mean accurate. You gotta be training. And for you to accurately zero in your rifle with the optic, you have to be trained to know how to zero rifle. You're not just gonna go get it out of the store and take it on the roof and do this. You gotta have some training and knowledge about breathing. 200 yards, breathing is imperative to make a shot at 200 yards. A center mass shot, yes, somebody with a little less training can do center mass. But a neck shot, when you have someone moving right before you shoot the person from 200 yards in an elevated position, it's a lot to go into that stuff. Your ammo has to be right. And I don't want to hear nobody say that 200 yards, oh, it's not a big deal. Man, I shot 100 yards when I was on the police department, and you can forget about a headshot unless you have an optic. You're not going to do it iron sights that accurately. Then you're talking about a person under pressure, a person who's never done this before. They're nervous. A random person, in my opinion, is not going to do this. It has to be somebody with some level of skill. You don't have to be advanced to the umpteenth, but you have to have a level of skill to do that. You're not sure. You got to have magnification. It's 200 yards. And I swear I put this on my life. So a lot of people who are saying that, oh, it's 200 easy. I do not believe that some of these people are seriously and they've ever shot a gun or shot a rifle. Platform, pressure. Like it's not that simple. It is. I've done it before. It's not simple.
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed. How do you feel?
Happy. Goodbye.
Wow. Did you see that Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed?
That's good.
Wow.
And to my people, to my black people, this is not our fight. Stay out of it. It's not our fight. They said violence had no place in politics. They weren't saying that during the civil rights, back when they was assassinating us then. It didn't apply then. Let it fly now. It's not our fight. Let the white people handle it.
Do you know who Charlie Kirk is?
Yes.
You hear what happened?
Yes.
What do you think?
I think it's very sad. I'm sad for his family. Sad for all of us, really. My heart is heavy. I actually came to walk my dog because he had a certain point of view. Very ironic, his last words. It's like, what are we doing? It just feels like, when is it going to matter to anyone?
What did you think of his political views?
I mean, not a fan. I'll leave it there, but like I mean, from on a human level, like nobody deserves that. You know what I'm saying? It's like this is, we should be looking at this on a human level. I do not like the man, no offense, rest in peace, but no one deserves this.
Charlie Kirk has just been killed and people are celebrating his death. He got killed for having controversial political views. And while I never have and never will agree with his political views, I still will never agree on the killing of humans. 2 children lost their father, a wife lost her husband, a mother and father lost their son, and people are still out here celebrating it in the comments. To the people celebrating in the comments, do you all not genuinely not realize how dangerous this actually is, and this is much bigger than you think? We are in 2025 and someone got shot because of their opinion. That could just as much have been any Islamic speaker, because for a lot of people, those are also controversial. It could just as much have been us solely for being Muslim, solely for speaking up in religion, solely for having a different view than other people. I feel so sick to my stomach just having these thoughts that this is something that could happen to anyone. The killing of people will never be okay, no matter who they are. And especially if there's any Muslim out here celebrating just because he did not accept us. Just know that this is something Islam will never stand for. We believe in justice, and Allah will take care of every situation, not us. And as far as the suspect, because that will not be highlighted this time, and I think that's because the first suspect is actually an old American white man. So I don't think that will be highlighted enough. That is the first suspect. But we will see. I will update y'all if I find out more information.
Isn't it kind of interesting how the Charlie Kirk incident was immediately blamed on leftists and liberals? But literally they went to go get the person who allegedly did the pew-pew, and it was this old guy. They got the wrong guy, right? So then they released him. Then they were like, oh no, actually we found the guy. We found a different guy. It's the real guy. Yeah, no, it wasn't him either. So what is the proof that this was a liberal, a leftist, a Democrat? Where is the proof of that? Literally, who is to say that this is not a prior Trump supporter who now is not supporting the president any longer and doesn't, align with the president's ideas and everything that he's currently doing? Like, what if it's one of his supporters that just turned on him? You know what I mean? Because they didn't catch the person who did it. And that's why it's weird also to me that a bunch of both sides of the political parties came out and said, this isn't okay. And I understand because gun violence is an issue in our country. But it just felt weird for everyone to be like, oh, we need to give our thoughts and prayers and do all of this and that. And then I feel like that's kind of what fueled people to basically condemn people who don't care or who aren't upset about the incident. Because now it's like, oh, well, why are you guys not sad? Why are you guys doing this? Why are you guys doing that? Where it's like, people can have their own opinions. This man was quite literally saying crazy things. I feel like people are allowed to feel how they feel, but I just feel like all that is tied in together, but it's just not, that's not making sense to me, genuinely.
This is such bullshit. I've never been so pissed in my whole life. And this murder Charlie Kirk right here in Utah. I'm so freaking pissed right now. This is bullshit. I just saw blood squirting out of his neck. I love that guy. He would have been our next president. I am so pissed right now. Why do they always come with fucking violence? Gosh damn it. Use your freaking words as they're talking to you people. Who shot Charlie Kirk? I'm driving down a Provo right now. I'm so pissed. Damn it.
Charlie Kirk's death, I don't think it wasn't violence, gun violence. However, how ironic is it that he was talking about gun violence and he was shot immediately before even he finished talking about whatever he was talking about. And from all these people's reaction, Charlie Kirk, I'm just gonna say it. I know deep down he knew he was hated and this day would come.